Well, Israelis are shocked the world hates them. There's been a series of incidents that have happened all around the world when Israelis travel. They are often not greeted warmly or really, they're oftentimes run out of the place. Some of the incidences that are being reported are actually really awful. They're being attacked, but we don't really know all the circumstances of the attacks. I don't think Israelis are just being flat out attacked violently, but maybe squabbles happens, when people get screamed at in the face and suddenly they react, and then reactions lead to other reactions and whatnot. And so some of the stories that have gone on in the Netherlands, 2 Israeli visitors were violently attacked at a water park. The attackers threw stones and physically assaulted the family, with one victim losing consciousness. Police arrested the people, but quickly released some of the attackers, fueling fear among the Israelis there. That is one of the stories that we're getting. These actually are coming from, let me show you who this is coming from, Shael. Shael Ben Ephraim, we've had him on the show many times, and we're going to get him back on the show here soon because Shael has had a major transformation. He was the liberal Zionist. He first came on the show as a liberal Zionist. He's Israeli-American dual citizen. And when he first appeared on the show, he justified Israel's war. He justified Zionism. Then the next time he came on the show, he was like, okay, I'm still a Zionist, but Israel is committing some war crimes, and it's not good. And then the last time he came on the show, he says, yeah, Israel's committing a genocide, not just war crimes. It's bad. And now Shael is at the point where he says, I'm not even a Zionist anymore. It's a cult. And I got sucked into the cult, and I'm out of the cult. So he's been fascinating to watch in an evolution. And he's taken a lot of heat and a lot of hate. But he is, you just got to commend the guy. He's one of the good guys for, coming out. It's very hard to come out of a certain mindset. And, we saw this happen with a lot of people during COVID, for example. They started off brainwashed, and then they kind of got out of it and woke up. And Shael's been one of those people when it comes to Israel and Zionism and the genocide and whatnot. But so he put together this post kind of rounding up all of the incidences that have been recently reported on. And they're usually in the Times of Israel, and they're saying, oh, these Israelis, they frame it like Israel, innocent Israelis were just minding their own business, and then somebody came and threw rocks at them. And, anti-Semitism is just on the rise, and this is what's going on. And I think these stories are actually going to be used by Netanyahu to justify the censorship on social media, to say, look, all of these lies about Jews and Israel is causing all of these people to harm Jews around the world. And so we have to, for the safety of Jews, we have to actually put a stop to, all of these lies, and therefore censor social media. That's what I think these stories are actually for, because these stories are clearly not being reported on accurately. And this first one in the Netherlands saying that the police arrested them, but then quickly released them. And then, oh no, according to the Jerusalem Post, now there's fear among Israelis there that the Netherlands, the Dutch aren't going to do anything about it. That's bullshit. It's a lie. Clearly they arrested them and let them go because there were other circumstances. There were other things that were taken into consideration. And then that's why they were let go. In France, a resort manager was arrested after denying entry to 150 Israeli children at a holiday village. That did happen. There are definitely Israelis that, it's not a fight, it's not a brawl, there's no antagonizing, but they show up and people look at them and they're like, you're a bunch of Zionist Israelis and you're clearly pro-Zionist. You're proud of what your country's doing. You're not welcome here. And this is going on all around the world, where Israelis and IDF and people that are proud of Israel and Zionism, they're being run out of restaurants, they're being run out of water parks, they're being run out of hotels, they're being run out because people are not in support. And when you think, now you might think, well, that's wrong, they shouldn't be doing that, but should they or should they not? I mean, when we look back at Nazi time and we say, what would I have done to the Nazis? If a Nazi showed up at my business, what would I do? Would I serve him or would I not serve the Nazi? I mean, ask yourself that question. If you owned a restaurant and a Nazi showed up, would you serve the Nazi? Or would you say, you're not welcome in my business? I think that we've all been trained by society to say we would not serve the Nazi. So it shouldn't be so shocking to the Israelis that suddenly people are saying, we won't serve you. We're just not going to serve you. You're a pro-Zionist Israeli. We're not serving you. And I think when we look back on this time, that might actually be the moral and the correct stance. So, even though on the surface I'm like, oh, that's, should they really be denying entry of 150 Israeli kids, in the holiday village? Like, should they really be doing that? But then, but the children, I mean, what we've been seeing even in Israel is that they're, watching we know from the stats that the vast majority of Israelis, unfortunately, don't care about Palestinian suffering at all. And, this is unfortunately the consequence of that. In Vienna, pro-Palestinian protesters stormed the Austrian Broadcasting Corporation building to protest Israeli war coverage showing political unrest linked to the conflict. Greek authorities faced protests after allowing Israeli civilian airplanes some shelter. Across Europe, more than 500 arrests occurred during pro-Palestinian protests over the weekend in the UK and other countries, some involving violent clashes with police. Israeli defense companies were excluded from a Dutch defense fair due to concerns about social unrest linked to the war in Gaza. And Shael says, the spontaneous backlash to the genocide is starting to really ramp up. And then he says, F off and find out, FAFO, which is F off and find out, as Israel supporters like to say about Gaza, he says. So F around and find out. I want to show you some of these clips of stuff that's also been going on. So here's another No Israel here at this restaurant in Thailand. Here is...
Question for my TikTok, buddy.
Okay.
No, buddy.
So this is in Los Angeles. And this guy's pretty aggressive, but he goes after this group of Israelis.
Need a quick question, buddy. What's your stance on Israel, buddy? What's your stance on Israel?
Israel is the best country.
Fuck Israel.
No.
Fuck everything about Israel, buddy. Free Palestine, buddy. Look how I smelled you. I smelled a rat. I smelled IDF Israelis. You could smell them. They smell like shit. They smell like baby killers. Look at them. Look at the baby killers. With these baby killers. You touch my phone, I'm gonna hit you, bro. You touch my phone, I'm gonna hit you. Any extension of my body, buddy. Hey, I'm not your friend. You Zionist bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking Zionist. Let's fight, buddy. You wanna fight or what? You wanna fight or what? I fucking can't stand Israelis. See how I smelled your ass, bro? From far away. I smelled you, bro. I smelled you. You smell like a baby killer. You especially.
No.
Yeah, you smell like a baby killer Israeli. Where were you born, buddy?
Peace.
Fuck you.
Peace.
Peace killing babies?
No.
What's the peace, buddy? What's the peace?
Peace and love.
Where's the peace, buddy? Yeah, get out of here. Get out of Los Angeles. Israelis are not welcome.
Okay. That one was a bit aggressive, but here's another one for you. This is in Hong Kong.
If you're a Zionist who support the killing and the starvation of children, no, get the fuck out of Hong Kong.
Can you tell about your experience with Israeli tourists?
They pushed me to the ground, they spit at me, they pulled my flag from the flagpole. They did all kinds of disgusting things. I wish Hong Kong government really look at who's coming in. If they had killed people, if they are a member of IDF, really, as a citizen, I don't want them to be here. Because they actually attack me all the time. They choose to swallow all their government propaganda, and they don't even blink an eye, and I have no sympathy for them, honestly.
Yeah, then what's on the map? What are you fighting for?
76 years of establishment. Palestine
Now, this is in Japan.
doesn't exist.
It never will and it never has.
Israel is a fake state.
So why are you waving the flag?
So, and this is also an image of this one. Let me just grab. This is Greece. There was a boat of Israelis that were coming in for a vacation, and Greek residents got together and greeted the boat in this way. So Israelis are shocked to discover they are hated all around the world when they travel. It's and many Israelis who are not in support, I've seen them on social media say, what do? I want to travel. I don't support this. A lot of them have been fierce advocates against what Israel's doing and against Zionism and for one state even. And they're saying that they feel like they need to lie when they travel. And it's probably true. They probably should lie, or they should at least say, and Americans, we feel the same way when we travel. I question, should I say I'm an American? Should I say I'm Canadian? I mean, I don't know. Would they even really recognize the accent? I had to question that all the time when I was in Italy. And I'd ask them, do you even know where I'm from? Can you even tell based on my accent where I'm from? And they can't. They actually can't. They know I speak English. They don't even know if English is my first language. They assume it is because I speak it well. but they're not sure where I come from because they can't tell. And it's the same for me, like with Italians. I can't tell which part of Italy they come from, for example, or if people are speaking certain languages, if it's a foreign language, you can't really tell where in the world they come from. And so part of me thought, well, then I don't even need to say America, right? If I feel like, oh no, it might cause a little bit of a problem, but it hasn't actually. Being an American traveling has not caused a problem. But I could certainly see for Israelis where it 1,000% would. And a lot of it is not only that their country and their government is committing a genocide, but the bigger issue for the travelers and for the average Israeli is that the average Israeli supports the genocide. And we're all seeing that. We're all hearing that. And that is ultimately why many of them just find themselves not welcome when they travel around the world. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.